it's blank.
I think they have 4.
It's 1 year.
Kittens?
And then more take 1, and then the 3.
Right now we're just focusing on this question, okay? So, do you want to try, Evelyn, on using this one? I think one.
I think.
No? You want to try? Okay, here, Declan, we're going to let Evelyn try, okay?
Okay.
Now it's we're not facing the sun anymore. So now it's nighttime.
Gramps would let Mark take one.
Oh, okay.
And
So now you're inferring.
That's 3 more.
then
So how many kittens did Gramps have in the barn at this time? 4, right? Okay. Yeah, so that's getting to the end of the book, okay? Okay.
3 more.
Well, it seems like you guys got a pretty good idea, but now you guys are going to be doing a worksheet. Let's see. I'm going to teach you guys one now.
I followed that worksheet.
No.
Do you have a copy
Don't
of
start just
pencil?
yet,
Do you have
okay?
a copy of pencil?
Do we gotta write?
I do not know.
Or did you just
So,
copy?
you guys do not have to write
Or
out your
did you
answers,
just copy
okay?
the pictures
What you
of
can
them?
do, though, is, let me see, where does she keep her pencil?
Draw pictures.
Here, this is what we'll do, okay? You two get home. Okay. All you
my
need,
favorite color.
what I think you guys should write down is the page number of where you found your answer, okay? So you guys are going to say your answer out loud, but just so to help you guys remember, put down the page number of where you found your answer on the paper, okay? And then at the end, once we get done, we're going to share out what our answers are. So each person is going to share one of the answers. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one, okay? But one of you guys will have to share each answer, okay? So, you guys are going to have here. Okay, use this. Okay.
It's a marker.
Yes, you can put your names on it, okay? Now, you guys are going to have 5 minutes. So I have a timer here, okay, for 5 minutes. Do you guys think that's going to be enough time? We can figure it out.
But first you have to tell us what these say.
Yep, so I'm going to read you guys the questions just so you guys can hear it, okay? So all you're going to do is, this paper is just so you can see the questions, okay? All you really need to write down is the page number that you found your answer. So if you found it on page 4, for question 1 or whatever, you can put a 4. So then when I ask you guys your answers, you guys can look back and you guys can see the answer in the book. Does that make sense? So I'm going to read you guys the questions first, okay? So listen up, all right? Look at your page and I'm going to read it to you, okay? So the first question is, where does Gramps ask Mark to come to help him? Okay? So that's the first question. So you want to look back into the book and find, where does Gramps ask Mark to come to help him? Okay?
Oh, I have one of the same ones, just different colors.
So I'm going to start the timer. Now,
I know
second
the
question.
number.
Now, I'm gonna give you guys all the questions, and you guys are gonna work on your own, okay? So make sure you hide your answers and just do. It's okay. So then the next questions are, what does Gramps have in his barn? The third question is, why is it hard to see the stars in the city? And then the last question is, based on the book, how is Gramps' farm different from the city? Okay, the last one is a bit more challenging. So if you're not able to do it, I can try to help you guys out too. Okay? But these are your guys' questions. If you want me to reread it to you as well, I can do that. But I'm gonna start the timer. So now you guys can open up your book. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so.
I'm going to do the.
Okay, so you guys are gonna open up your books, all right? And if you need me to reread you the question, I can do that. But try and find the answers in the book.
Could we just
okay?
say kittens? Or just write kittens?
I'm going to write the.
But try and also write the page number so then you know. Because then when I ask you the question, you can say, well, on this page it said the answer. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, your guys' timer started, all right?
Okay.
So try and do it as best as you can on your own, and then if you need help, you can ask me, okay? But,
Since I did 4
and you don't need to write the answer too. You can just write the page number.
city, the city, and
The third question is, why is it hard to see the stars in the city? So you have to go and look back in the book and try and find where it talks about why it's hard to see the stars in the city. Declan, you don't need to write it down. You don't need to write sentences. Because right now, we're not working on writing sentences. We're just working on finding the answers in the text and then saying it. So you guys don't need to write it. You can just tell me what the answer is once we get to the end, okay? So just write the page number that you found it on, and then you can go to the next question, okay? Does that make sense? So you can start on 1, and then you can go down as you go. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Can you help me with this one?
Okay, so that question is, based on this book, how is Gramps Farm different from the city? So you want to look to where they make a comparison between, where they say something about Gramps Farm and something about the city. So I'll give you a hint. It is towards the end of the book, okay?
Right here.
It's on page 7, but you gotta find what it says on page 7.
Wait, the stars are the same.
So the last one is asking you how Gramps Farm is different from the city that Mark is from.
I don't know what to do. I forgot.
Okay, well let me help you. What are you stuck on? The first one, where does Gramps ask Mark to come help him? You gotta go into your book. So that's when you have to go and look into the book to find the answer. So, can you see here? What does it say right here on these last sentences?
From Gramps,
What does it say?
I need a big boy to help me on the phone.
What does that first question say?
Where does Gramps ask Mark to come help him?
So where is Gramps asking him to come help? On the farm, exactly. And what page did you find that on?
I found it on page 2.
So all they do is that one day.
So now you're going to be doing that same thing for the rest of the questions. Okay. So now the next question is, what does Gramps have in his barn? Now we already talked about that. In his barn.
Horses,
Are you making things up, dude? Did they talk about horses in the story?
stars,
No.
cats.
You can't guess. Okay, you gotta read in here. Okay, so look through the book and see what it might say. Maybe on this page. I don't know. It could be on this page. Now you don't have to say it out loud. Just write down the page number. Okay. Okay. Now once you have it done, I just want you to put a thumbs up. Okay. So just put a thumbs up.
I'll just put a check
Stay
mark
quiet.
on
So
it.
do I just do the page number?
And then you can know the answer too. So if you go to the page number, then if I ask you the
I'll
question,
just
you
do
can look
check
back
mark.
and
What
see.
is
Oh,
it
what's
again?
I'll just do check marks.
page 4?
I'll just do check marks of
But you have to read it. So
Gramps.
what does Gramps have in his barn? What does this sentence right here say?
Gramps has 4 kittens.
So we'll. Okay.
And I said 3 or 4 of the pages.
Okay, my turn.
Gramps
It doesn't have.
is yours.
Because I was talking about the country.
Mm-hmm.
It only probably has just one line in your yard.
Yeah.
Gramps.
And remember, you don't need to write the full
should
sentence.
live in a country.
I did this.
Mm-hmm.
2 kittens going next door are the 10 of 7 is 8. 5, 4, 3,
Alright, I want to make sure there's no sound here. Okay. Alright. Declan, and that should be good for the first. If you have the first 2 down, that's all you really need. That's plenty, okay? So now,
the time is up.
okay. So you should be good, Declan. Alright? Okay. So now, I'll let you keep your book. Okay? And now I'm gonna ask you guys to answer one of the questions. So we're gonna start with Declan for question 1, where does Gramps ask Mark to come help him?
Well,
For the first question, okay, so look at your paper. Where does Gramps ask Mark to come help him?
at the farm.
On the farm, right? What page did you find that on?
On page 2.
On page 2, exactly. So if you use one of these sentence stems, how might you be able to say this? So the story says that, you can maybe say that Gramps asked Mark
That Gramps asked Mark
to help him on the farm. And what page was that on again?
On page 2.
Exactly. So then you tell them where you found the answer and what the answer is. Okay? Alright, let's mix it up here. Let's have can you answer question 2? What does Gramps have in his barn? 4 kittens. Now what page did you find that on? Do you remember? So then you can look back at page 4. Yep, exactly. Now, do you want to say it using one of the sentence stems? You can do it that way. I think, do you want to try this way? I think I can help you and you'll be good. I think Gramps has in the barn because, what page did you find it on?
Page 4.
Because on page 4 it said that. Exactly. Okay. Now, I'm gonna have you
been falling down long again?
What?
It's under the...
That water bottle?
Get away.
Oh yeah, I've been dropping it a lot. Alright, now we're gonna have you answer. Hey guys, make sure when other people are talking, we need to be listening with our ears, with our eyes and our ears. Okay? So now you're gonna answer question 3 first. So why is it hard to see the stars in the city? Is it your turn to answer?
No.
So we need to listen.
Because it has a lot of light.
So it has bright lights in the city, which makes it hard to see the stars. What page did you find that on? Do you remember?
5.
On page 7. So if we use the sentence stems, would you be able to say, I think, or actually, I think this one's better. The story says that the stars.
It's hard to see the stars in the city because there are a lot of lights.
And on what page did you find that again? On page 7. So now you're showing that on page 7 it says the answer to the question. Alright, and then Evelyn will have you do the last one. So based on this book, how is Gramps' farm different from the city?
It's fine. The stars are the same as city is.
Yep, so it's easier to see the stars, and you can see more stars on the farm compared to the city. Friend is talking about listening. Our eyes and our ears. She had a great answer. A really good answer.
Good job.
To the last question. Pat on the back. Okay. Alright, now I'm just gonna ask you guys. You guys did an excellent job. So now I'm just gonna ask you guys some questions which you already know the answer to. So, how did you find your answers in the story?
In the text.
So you found it in the text. Yep. So that's how you find your answers. Why? Declan, let's focus, alright? I'm talking, alright? Can I see your eyes and your ears? Okay. Why is it important to use the story to answer questions?
Because
It helps us.
it will help us answer questions in the text.
Exactly. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much today for being really
what did they say?
Okay. Thank you guys for being really detectives today and doing great work. Alright, everybody give yourself a pat on the back. Everybody give yourself a pat on the back for good work today. Okay, now, we're just going to reread the statement that we made at the start, okay? We're not focusing on that right now, okay? So I want you guys to repeat after me again, okay? I will be able to answer questions about Mark and the stars and use evidence from the text with 80% accuracy. Okay, great job today. Can you fist bump?
What is
Fist
this?
bump, fist bump,
What does this
fist
say?
bump. Alright, you guys are good to go.
What
So
does
I will
this
take
say?
your papers, okay? I will take your papers
does
and I will
this
take
say,
your
Mr.
books,
Eric?
okay?
How many minutes has
What
it been
does
on that timer? Right there.
What did this
It has
say?
been 30 minutes.
What
Isn't that
does
crazy?
this say?
What is what say?
How many
There?
seconds?
Or the question? Okay, let me turn this